Hello everyone, good morning all of you. Our today's topic is structure of anther, male gametophyte, female gametophyte. That means the microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis and the types of ovule. So let's start our session. So here we will see the tiers of mature anther. Here the first layer is epidermis, second is endothecium, third layer is middle layer and tapetum, that is connective tissue, sporanginous tissue. So now we will see one by one. First layer is epidermis. The epidermis is a single layered protective sheath of the anther. It provides anticlinally and tries to keep space with the enlarging internal tissues of the anther. It also provides the structure of integrity to the anther and prevent the moisture loss and indehiscence of the anther lobe. Okay, so here second layer is the endothecium. This is the outermost layer of the parietal cell located immediately below the epidermis, are called as the endothecium. It attains the maximum development before the dehiscence of the anther. And the third layer is the middle layer. The cells of the middle layer are usually ephemeral and become flattened and crushed by the early meiosis in the pollen mother cell. It also serves the store starch that is later mobilized to the developing pollen grain. And the last fourth layer is tapetum. Tapetum is the innermost layer of the anther wall. You can see here tapetum, and usually derived from the parietal layer. And this is the connective tissue. Connective tissue, anther lobe are fused together by the connective tissue. Okay, and this is the sporanginous tissue. Here we will see the dynamic of anther development and differentiation depends on the cooperative interaction between the cell population. You can see here. So the anther normally consists of two lobes, that is microsporangia and megasporangia. But the megasporangia is also known as the macrosporangia. Here we will see next what is microsporogenesis. So what is the microsporogenesis? The formation of microspore mother cell is known as the microsporogenesis. Here the pollen mother cell are haploid in nature. After that they occur the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. This division we get one single nucleus, then 2, then 4 nucleus are formed. After that we get overlap condition. We can also say that tetrad condition or tetrad. After that we get the 4 single cell. This 4 single cell is called as the single pollen grain. Okay. This diagram is tiers of microspore mother cell. Here we can see epidermis, endothecium, middle layer, etc. The number of cells are combined, so it is called as the connective tissue. The group of pollen grain mother cell are called as the sporogenous tissue. Okay, the tapetum layer here. The tapetum layer which is surrounded by the sporogenous tissue, which is very important because it provides the nutrition for the pollen grain. The pollen grain has two layers, that is this is the diagram of pollen wall. There are two pollen layer, exine layer and intine layer. The exine layer is stable because it forms the sporopollenin, which is the substance which cannot degrade any enzyme. There is no enzyme to degrade the sporopollenin with its high temperature and degradity. That's why it is very stable and protective layer also. Second layer is intine layer. The intine layer is formed pectin and cellulose. Now we will see the megasporogenesis. So what is the megasporogenesis? Same, the formation of megaspore mother cell, it is known as the megasporogenesis. Megaspore divided, they occur the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Here you can see here the diagram of division. So meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, as further we had seen in microsporogenesis, it form 4 nucleus or 4 megaspore. But the only one is a functional megaspore, that is haploid in nature, and other 3 megaspore are disintegrated. Okay. This is functional megaspore, again divided mitotically. So mitosis 1, the 2 nuclei are formed. After mitosis 2, there are 4 nucleus are formed, and mitosis 3, here we get the 8 nucleus. Okay, it is a monosporic development because embryonic sac develop only from the 1 megaspore. So they are arranged in a 3 region. The upper region is 2 nucleus is synergid, 1 is egg cell, and this is the central cell. There are 2 polar nuclei are present, and 1, 2, 3. These 3 cells are the antipodals. This is the development of female gametophyte. So this is the diagram of ovule. Hilum and funicle is the part to help to attach the placenta. And this is the micropyle, and this is the microphylar pole. They are help to pollen grain reach to the ovule or ovary. This is the embryo sac. There are 2 layers of embryo sac. First is outer integument and the inner integument. This is the nucellus, and this is the chalazal pole. This is the all over structure of ovule. As I told you about the microsporogenesis, also known as the 8 nucleated and 7 cell structure. So how it is happen? So here we count the nucleus: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is the 8 nucleated. But only 7 cell, we count the 2 polar nuclei as a 1 cell in the center. That's why it is called as the 7 cell nucleus also. Now we will see the types of ovule. There are mainly 6 type of ovules. Ovules have been separated into 6 categories based on their shape. So we will see the first type of ovule is autotropous ovule. This is where the body is this ovule is straight, so that the chalaza where nucleus and integument, that means the inner integuments and outer integument, these are the layer of embryo sac, are merged. Okay, so second ovule is anatropous ovule. In this case, the ovules become completely inverted during the development, so that the microphyll lies close to the hilum. The hilum is scar, that point where the seed was attached to the fruit wall and the funicle. The third one is amphitropous ovule. The body of the ovule is very much covered, that is embryo sac, and ovule itself take shape of the shoe horse. This shape is like shoe horse, you can see here. Now the fourth one is campylotropous ovule. Campylotropous ovule, the body of this type of ovule is bent. You can see here the body is bent, and the alignment between the chalaza and microphyll is lost. The embryo sac is only slightly curved. Okay, so next is the hemitropous ovule. In hemitropous ovule, the body of this ovule become at a right angle in relation to the funicle, so it's look like the ovule is lying on its side. You can see here. And the last one is crisinotropous ovule. The funicles in this case specially long that it creates a nearly circle around the ovule, whose microphyll is ultimately pointing in upward direction. You can see here the microphyll is pointing like the upward direction. So this is the crisinotropous ovule. So we will discuss the 6 types of ovule.